What's good? What's good? What's good? How y'all doing tonight? Hopefully everybody's had a good week. Um, got a really good show for y'all tonight. Welcome back to another episode of Vic's Bro Spot, a real place for real men looking for real answers with real issues, looking for real answers. This is our spot. If you haven't already, please take this time to like and subscribe to my channel. That way I can push the show out, and that way you can stay up to date on all of the content. Like I said earlier, got a real good show tonight, talking about, toxicity, on the subject of toxicity in the marriage or whatever. But I'm glad y'all tuned in. But check this out. As you're coming in, I want to speak from a chapter tonight. It's actually from the book of Ephesians, and it's chapter 4, verse 26. Real simple verse. It says, "Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath." Now, if for a subject, for tonight's session, I'm gonna call it those moments. Those moments. Because trust me, I can tell you right now that we've all in marriage have had those moments. And if you don't know quite where I'm going with that, in a few minutes you'll know exactly what I'm saying, because you've had those moments too. So those moments is the title of tonight's session. I ran across an article a little earlier, and the article was on the subject of hostility, and it was talking about couples who are hostile. Or I guess the word we would say today is toxic, but um, it was in regards to hostile couples. Now check this out. It says during a disagreement, they spend a lot of time, and when I say they're talking about the hostile couples. They spend a lot of time pleading their own position and little time trying to understand their spouse point of view. Hostile couples express a lot of contempt for each other during their debates, and they are not happily married, but surprisingly, they rarely divorce. Now, let me tell you, that last part, after saying all that negative stuff, it closed by saying, but surprisingly, they rarely divorce. Now, I would figure, when you're looking at all of that, that those kinds of people would actually be quick to divorce, but that's not the case. And not only that, but we all know those couples, if we're being honest, you know what I'm saying, from where, maybe from back in the day, maybe now, those couples that'll fight each other, you know what I'm saying, cuss each other out, go off on one another. And look, been married 30, 40, 50 years. You know what I'm saying? We all know them kinds of people. So and it's true, because they don't divorce, a lot of them. But then again, there are some that will divorce. You know what I'm saying? I guess it get to a point where, you know, they're not at a place where the other couples are. Because even if you're being honest, though, even with the couples that they've been together for all these years, and they go off, fight, and cuss each other down, they really ain't happy. I think they just kind of so used to doing it, so used to being together, even though they're not happy with each other, but they just don't get divorced. You know what I'm saying? But then I saw another quick article, and it says that there are actually four four behaviors that, and I didn't notice, four behaviors that will most likely lead to divorce. And all four of these, I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna run them down to y'all. All four of them are toxic and they are hostile. Okay, and the four are criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. If you want to write them down, you can. I'll say them one more time: criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. And I'm gonna run through these real quick, just kind of give you a breakdown. But criticism, right? A person who is involved with criticism and always looking to criticize somebody, they always pointing out something negative. So they ain't never got nothing good to say. And instead of saying something positive, they'll just find a way to pick at their spouse. You know what I'm saying? They just nag all the time. And you can be a man or a woman and nag. I know most people call it, call the women nagging, but men can nag too. And, they quick to always just pass a judgment. You know what I'm saying? They want to blame somebody. They don't want to take no accountability. They want to blame their spouse. You know what I'm saying? It's your fault we in this situation. You know what I'm saying? If you was a better man, if you was a better husband, or if you was a better wife, and then you did what you're supposed to do, then we wouldn't be in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Or they might even say things like, it's your family. You just like your family. Y'all all messed up. Y'all the problem. And then they might say that, and let me tell you, these kind of people who are just involved in criticism and criticizing, man, they'll hit below the belt too now. They'll say things like, that's why I really don't like your mom. That's why I can't get along with your sisters. I can't really stand y'all. You know what I'm saying? And they'll say stuff like that. And the more people who criticize one another, the more they say these kinds of things to each other, the devil will just shoot them a word, just shoot them another quick word, shoot them another sentence to say, because it's already to the point where it's bad and below the belt. And let me tell you, me and my wife, we went a while back, a long time ago, we had made an agreement, a pact, that no matter what we feel at any point of an argument or whatever it is, we ain't gonna never hit below this belt. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that I've heard before is things like, you see, that's why your daddy did now, because of the stuff he was doing. Or that's why I really don't like some of the people that's in your family, because they messy, or they this, or they that. So you say things sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And then you can't go back to really undo that and unsay that. But that's just, all of those are just examples of what falls into criticism. That's one behavior. Okay, and then the next behavior I mentioned was contempt. Now, this is, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, this one here is really sad. Because check this out. When a person has contempt for the other spouse, then it gets to the point where they eventually lose respect for the other spouse. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how two people really get to this point, but it's sad that it does happen. But in this particular one, this is where spouses lose respect for the other spouse as a man or as a woman, and they can't even stand them, y'all. I'm talking about, they'll even say things like, I hate you. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that though, okay, it's not like just normal complaining, like, okay, you ain't doing this, you ain't done that. It's way past that. I'm talking about, it's to the point where it's so toxic when it comes to contempt that it can even cause your spouse, or cause a spouse to go under, to undergo emotional damage. I'm talking about a psychological damage. You know what I'm saying? When you treat a spouse with contempt, it's like you're almost saying that you disgust me. You know what I'm saying? Look at you. I can't stand you. I can't stand to be around you, man. I'm not gonna lie. Contempt can really mess up a spouse, and a lot of people don't know that. So that's the second behavior. Now, the third behavior was defensiveness. Now, this one here, these are the ones that really ain't trying to hear nothing. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell them nothing about anything. You know what I'm saying? They believe that everything that they doing is right, and you the one who wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't trying to, talk and work things out because they figure that you the one that need to work things out. You know what I'm saying? That kind of person. They steady coming up with reasons on why you need to change, on why you need to do this and what you need to do, but they quick to pass it away from them because they figured, and that's the thing about this defensiveness is somehow, some way, even in their wrong, they have somehow convinced themselves that they are right. And that's a dangerous place to be because you really can't see past yourself if you are in the behavior of defensiveness. You hear me? Now, this last one, this fourth one is called stonewalling. And stonewalling is really at the point of no return. Okay, you are at a point where you just done shut it down. You shut it down. You don't put a wall up between you and your spouse. You ain't trying to hear nothing. You ain't trying to do nothing. You're not trying to be affectionate. You're not trying to go out to be with each other. You don't. Okay, I put it like this: when you stonewall in a marriage, you pretty much done mentally already checked out. Like it's a done deal. I'm already moved on. And when that happens, it's pretty much a wrap. You know, so it's pretty much over. Not saying that every case has to end in divorce, but if stonewalling is what a spouse is going to stick to, then it pretty much is over. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you don't put a wall up. You don't say, you know what? It is what it is. I'm done. It's over. So mentioning those four behaviors, what I have a question. The question is, so what do you do when you see any one of these four behaviors, if not all, start to creep up in your marriage? Because one thing I'm gonna tell you is they will. At some point, at some time, you're gonna see some of these start to try to creep their way in your marriage. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing I can tell you about the devil, and I found this out a long time ago, that he hates the idea of marriage. He hates the union of a husband. He hates the union of a wife together as one. He hates that. He hates the idea of family. And one thing he wants to do is do everything in his power, even though he ain't got none, but he wants to do everything he can to destroy your marriage. All right. Now, this is what I found out when it comes to those four behaviors. And notice when I say behave, a person behave the way that they do because of the way they think. So really, it starts in the mind. You know, there's a few scriptures, but one says, "Don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed." You know, by the renewing of your mind. But one of the things that the enemy does is try to get those four behaviors to become a part of us. But they first start off with a thought, and then it just gets worse the more you dwell on the thoughts, the more you make the thoughts reality. So the question is, what do you do when those thoughts start to come into your head, when those behaviors start trying to creep in and make their place in your marriage? Well, I want to read this scripture to you, and this is what's worked for me, okay? Philippians 4:8, that battles against those four behaviors and those negative thoughts and those evil thoughts. It says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy," watch this part, "think about such things." So this is what I wanted to run down to you, okay? Because one thing about I know about the devil, he quick to point out the bad. But look what the Apostle Paul is telling us to think about. He said, think about such things. Think about, in other words, think on these things. Okay. Notice he said the first one, he said, what is true? So what's true about your wife? And I'm gonna speak from the men's standpoint, but if any women are watching this, you can reverse it and speak from the woman's standpoint to the man. But I'm gonna speak as a man to the woman. So what's true about your wife? I'll tell you that she's a good mother, that she's a good wife. She's always been there for you, and she's always supported you. What's noble about your wife? That she makes good decisions and pick up the slack when we as men fall short. She's there. What's right when it comes to your wife? That she is only into you. She ain't thinking about no other man. She just want you and for you to love her. Check it. What's pure about your wife? That she only wants what's best for you. She don't want to see you hurt in any way. When you're sick, she's there to take care of you. When you have a bad day, she's there to listen and make you feel better. What's admirable? What's admirable about your wife? She looks her best for you when y'all go out together. She handling her business at home. She handling her business at work. You know what I'm saying? She might be a stay-at-home mother. She might be a woman who works far away, or whatever the case is. In either case, she's holding it down. Okay. And then what's excellent or praiseworthy about your wife? You know why you married your wife. She's the one who made huge contributions in your marriage. But before then, she's the one that you looked at and said, man, I gotta have that. Man, that's me right there. I got to have that. That's who your wife was. That's who your wife is. She take care of and have took care of the kids. You know what I'm saying? She's a queen. She is beautiful. And then check this out. She's even beautiful when she wake up in the morning. And let me tell y'all, it's been plenty times in the morning when I rolled over and I looked at my wife and I was, never mind it. Never mind it. Don't mention that part. Let's move on. But she's still beautiful. So I'm not, like I said, this wasn't meant to be long-winded tonight. I wasn't trying to speak too long, but I just wanted to, just speak, because I know that in this time that divorces are just outrageous. And like I said, just trying to make sure that I do my part and speak to my men, especially my men, but definitely to whoever else listens. But as I close, just remember, what I'm saying, don't let these four behaviors I discussed earlier, don't let those behaviors come into your house and take over your thoughts and take over your mind. And then not only that, if you have a bad day between you and your wife, and like I said, things are just not going good, don't go to sleep. Don't go to sleep. I don't care if you step 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Don't go to sleep until y'all get it right. Get it right, then go to sleep. But because if you don't, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna only get worse. Those behaviors, if the enemy can find that one little crease to come in, he's gonna come in. And I'm gonna tell you, a big crease, a big gap is to go to bed with each other angry, because it only gets worse. So that's all I got. And I just want to, thank y'all for tuning in. Once again, this is Vic's Bro Spot. This is a real place for real men with real issues, looking for real answers. This is our spot. If you got anything you want to add in the comments, feel free. I'll definitely address them with you. But other than that, that's all I got. Until the next one, y'all stay blessed.